No, I had one over the weekend. I had a strawberry frosted Pop-Tart.
Would you eat one that didn't have frosting?
Yes. We grew up with the ones without frosting because we liked those better. But now my daughter likes frosting, so I eat those.
Because like, look at that.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, the guy's scary.
A little bit.
Can Brian come close and I'll
Yeah.
show? Like, look at this chunk here on my spoon.
Yeah.
You can kind of see it. It's a little blurry. There you go.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
what's like on the inside. Those little chunks.
My favorite is the brown sugar cinnamon frosted.
Those are good.
Those are good, right? Well, look at this. Jenny's Ice Cream has teamed up with the Pop-Tart people to make a frosted brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tart ice cream.
Imagine walking into an ice cream shop expecting 31 flavors of creamy heaven, only to be handed a soggy, freezer-burned scoop that tastes more like sugary ice than real dairy. Many of the chains we grew up with, Baskin Robbins, Dairy Queen, Carvel, aren't delivering what they promise. But here's the surprising part.
It's an amazing way to eat ice cream and also raise money for an amazing cause. So I'm here with Chip Grader and Chip. I am usually a black raspberry chocolate chip super fan. Not during the month of September, I'm not. Yeah, good morning, guys. And you know, right here is the Cones for the Cure meter. This is the goal this year, $180,000. They've raised over $770,000 over the last 12 years or so.
Absolutely not. So yeah, this is our incredibly great day that we look forward to every year. Our start to Cones for the Cure, like you said. So we'll be giving away free cones of Elena's blueberry pie today from 4 to 8.
Two chains actually live up to the hype, and they're worth every single spoonful. Which ones are they, and which shops should you avoid at all costs? Stick around because the answer might change how you think about ice cream forever. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video.
At Cold Stone Creamery, I think it's National, what kind of ice cream day today, B? Anything they have at Cold Stone?
Sorry, I just heard what you guys were talking about. I would be the kid like, where's the chocolate milk at? It's a secret recipe, the way you guys make your ice cream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Trade secret.
Now, we're here because it's National Vanilla Ice Cream. Now, I don't know if that's still your popular, or because I'm looking here, there's a rainbow of flavors.
Where does that come from?
I want the chocolate milk cow. Yeah.
Look for the brown cow.
Yeah, I would be disruptive on that field trip. You know, but from milk and cream, that's where Cold Stone makes their delicious concoctions.
Ice cream chains sell themselves like warships, gleaming decks, polished hulls, proud crews waving flags. But once you look under the surface, cracks are everywhere. The cannons are fake, the armor is thin, and inside the hold, the crew is scrambling to patch leaks. That's exactly how the big names in ice cream operate today. They build a brand around strength, nostalgia, and a promise of indulgence. But the product inside doesn't match the promise. Everyone walking through those doors expects to be handed a scoop that feels crafted with care, rich in dairy, and balanced in flavor. Instead, what hits the spoon is something that melts too fast, tastes too artificial, or leaves behind an aftertaste like watered-down syrup.
Banana, you know, we've got the whole selection.
And I've got to ask you, every time I go to the Cold Stone, I always hear people clamor about birthday cake batter. What is it about that? What do y'all put in there? And you guys have been doing it for 30 years.
Oh, absolutely. Vanilla is kind of the base, but we've gone and our cake batter ice cream is kind of our signature now.
Okay.
Chocolate, strawberry, we've got cotton candy, sorbets. You know, it's got actual cake mix in it. And I think that people just love the rich, creamy taste of cake batter. You know, you love to like the spatula at your mom's house.
Oh, that's the idea.
Absolutely. And that's
Take Baskin Robbins as the first example. For decades, the company has been known for 31 flavors, marketed as a treasure chest of endless choice. But ask customers today what actually makes those flavors special, and you'll hear frustration. The problem isn't variety, it's execution. You order a scoop of mint chocolate chip expecting a refreshing punch. What arrives is a rock-hard, cold lump with sugar so aggressive it overpowers everything else. Chances are it's been sitting too long in the freezer, edges crystallized with frost. Instead of a smooth spoon cut, the ice cream breaks off in clumps, like you're chipping ice from the wall of a freezer. It's not creamy, it's not indulgent, it's a chore. Marketing pushes freedom of choice, but the actual scoop often feels like punishment. Dairy Queen sits on the opposite side of the spectrum. If Baskin Robbins disappoints with frozen blocks, Dairy Queen frustrations come from excess air. Their soft serve expands dramatically as it's whipped, so much so that half of what you're eating is essentially air folded into dairy. Overrun, which is the term for air incorporated into ice cream, makes it light and cheap to produce, but it also explains why it collapses into a puddle in minutes. Anyone who grabs a cone on a summer day knows the routine. Rush to finish before it's dripping down your wrist, because this ice cream isn't built for endurance. It's a deployment of mass numbers, miles of cones speared onto trays, yet strength is absent. You could eat 3 of them and still feel like you haven't had a scoop worth remembering. Cold Stone Creamery takes a different approach. Instead of cutting corners with air or freezer storage, they rely on theater. The workers tossing toppings on the chilled marble slab, mixing candies into the base ice cream, create the illusion of craft. Crowds gather to watch, phones come out, and the scene turns into a spectacle. But once you press the spoon into that showpiece, the problem surfaces. Every creation leans extreme, too sweet, too heavy with chocolate drizzle, or overwhelmed with candy chunks. The foundation, the ice cream itself, gets buried. Flavor integrity vanishes under layers of sugar bombs. For all the clapping and scraping of metal on stone, what you're left with is a flashy missile that looks formidable but misses its target. Elsewhere, chains like Carvel and Friendly's rest almost entirely on nostalgia. They lean on the memory of childhood sundaes or birthday ice cream cakes. But memory can't hide reality. Their texture is often grainy, lacking smooth integration of fat and sugar. A bite feels airy, almost like foam instead of cream. The chocolate syrup tastes flat, whipped cream topping feels synthetic, and the cones are brittle in all the wrong ways. Everything functions, yet none of it speaks premium. It's a nostalgia campaign marching soldiers with wooden rifles. The larger pattern emerges here. Big chains are expert at crafting the promise of tradition, variety, or showmanship. They sell an image of superiority, but break down the fundamentals: fat content, flavor clarity, creaminess, and the weakness becomes visible. The chains ride reputation while delivering less to the spoon. Customers are not eating rich ice cream. They're eating a hollow imitation powered by branding. And yet, somewhere past all the failures and faded flags, 2 ice cream chains exist that do not cut corners. They carry the armor and weight of a true flagship. If most shops are outdated frigates, who are these 2 that dominate the field? The ice cream field is crowded with hollow weapons, over-sugared cones, freezer-burned tubs, and chains running on nostalgia instead of flavor. Yet 2 brands rise above it: Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams and Grater's. Their strength comes from real cream, careful freezing, and flavors that taste intentional rather than engineered. Where others cut corners, they build density and richness that hold up scoop after scoop. You don't need to keep paying for weak imitators. Seek out the shops that justify their mission. Next time you stand in line, ask yourself, do you want a collapsing paper boat or a battleship built to win?